Hi, babe. Welcome to the Horror Babe Show. I'm your host, Chelsea Beller. On today's virtual Filmmaker Friday episode, we have Olivia Holler and Anna Long with their screenplay, The Experience, a folk horror about a failed actor turned culture writer who attempts to live out her dream of being a star performer by reviewing an immersive play, only to find that comes with a price. Let's tune into my conversation with Olivia and Anna. Anna and Olivia, for those watching and listening, wrote a screenplay called The Experience, and it won second place for Best Unproduced Screenplay at FilmQuest. Huge congrats. That's amazing. I have so many questions. I want to know everything. Why don't you just start off by telling me about yourselves?
I'll start. I'm Anna. I'm a writer, director, choreographer, and actor. And I met Olivia through a writers group, and I think we just like hit it off and got so inspired by our shared love of theater and all of the amalgamations of like arts and how they fit into the horror umbrella. And we literally met last summer, or
we met like IRL last summer because we were a part of a virtual writers group that it existed before the pandemic, but it like really surged during the pandemic. So we like we're in contact, and then I think we like finally met up for coffee like a year ago.
Oh, nice.
And then as soon as we had that meeting, we literally started writing, and it's been really fun to kind of I think it's Olivia's first feature screenplay, right?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my God. That's huge.
And it was my first time co-writing with anybody. So we were kind of in creatively fresh and new waters together, and also a really great support system while we were working on our own solo projects together too. So I don't know if that's much about me. I just love talking about writing.
But that is you. That's your passion.
It is.
What about you, Olivia?
Yeah, I have a theater background. I have a BFA in theater arts, so I sort of started in performance and then always knew I liked writing. So I worked in theater for about 7 years in Washington, D.C., and I was acting, but also playwriting. And then from there, I pivoted more towards film and television and knew that I wanted to write for TV. I moved to LA in 2001. That's when I joined the writers group where I met Anna. And I've been very TV focused. And so most of what, like how I learned to write for the screen was through TV pilots. And then I wanted to branch out more into features, and I wanted to do more genre stuff because I love ghost stories and horror movies. And so, and I think I had a pilot that I put in the writers group, and Anna was kind enough to like say that like I can't come to the meeting this week, but I want to like talk about it. And she gave me some notes, and we're like, we should get coffee. And so that's when we really sort of shared our passions and just kind of what we liked to do and our tastes, and had the idea for the experience, and was sort of like, oh, you've done theater, would you want to like help me write this? And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that. I love when people come together over a shared passion, especially creative passions like that. Why don't you talk about The Experience? What is it? What exactly does it even mean, like that it takes place in an immersive show? Like I have no idea what to expect.
Well, immersive theater is really fun for anybody who hasn't experienced it. It's a show where the actors are interspersed in your experience. So you are able to kind of choose your own adventure through the scenes that are existing, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes in a curated chronological order, but you have a more visceral, more one-on-one experiences with the actors. And I just had this idea with my like there aren't very many of these because they're very expensive and difficult productions to pull off. But if you do get a chance to get into one, I thought how interesting it would be to have kind of a terrible experience inside of this. And it kind of came from this comedic idea of like, what if you were so excited? What if you were the best participant ever and you got like shoved to the side and didn't really get chosen for any of the activities?
Oh.
And then we thought, well, how much worse could it get? And we ramped it up and really through so many different horror elements and reality bending and surrealism and ideas of emotions, of ambition and fame, and how all of these things can get wrapped up in the suspense and like the thrill of being part of a theatrical experience, but also the thrill of maybe something isn't right. I don't know.
And how many of us have not been in a theater where something weird happens on stage and it's like, was that part of the show? And it's sort of like take that feeling and then ramp it up to like very terrible.
Wow. Okay.
I was actually back in like 2018, 2019, I was developing an immersive show. I like was really into immersive theater for a while. And in DC, there was a lot of it happening for a time. And so
Okay.
I was developing a
Got it.
show that was about the service industry that was supposed to take place in a restaurant. And we developed it for like 2 years. And we like went and saw Sleep No More and saw all these other shows to like research like how immersive theater was made and what our experience was. And
Yeah.
happened, and what are the two things you can't do in a pandemic? Go out to eat and watch theater. So it was like, oh. So that
Oh
was dead in the
no.
water. But I always like, I loved asking this question of like, why does theater have to be live? And I feel like an immersive show, like really, like it feels like going out to live theater is special every single night, but immersive
Mhm.
theater feels like I'm like I'm more active, and like it totally depends on the show, how much you're sort of guided through it, and like what you do don't really doesn't really matter. And then other
Yeah.
shows you really might be able to influence the ending. There's always like we
Right.
would always talk about there's like Anna was saying, there's like game participants that show up and they're like, I'm gonna play every puzzle and I'm gonna like fuck with the actors. And then there's people that are like, I would rather sit down and I just want to watch and like somebody told me to be here. And so it's like you want to make it fun for both of those groups of people.
Totally.
And I think that like for me, like tangentially related to how I was making immersive theater, like I love theater and like poured my heart and soul into making it for years. And but like it was very hard to make a living. And I think part of the pivot towards film and TV was also like I might make more money. And I kind of had this sort of like love-hate relationship with like it sort of asks everything of you, but is it really guaranteed to give you anything back or like treat you well?
Sure. Yeah.
That's sort of what infuses the experience is sort of like it's literally asking the question of like when your dream demands everything, is it worth it? And like
Yeah.
at what cost do you sort of like go towards that? And what
Right.
sacrifices do you make? So it's we call it our like blood-soaked tribute to our love-hate relationship with art.
Oh my God. I love that. That's so cool. So the experience, um, it would be, would it be an immersive show or would it be like a film about an immersive show?
It's a feature film about an immersive show. So we
Okay, okay.
had a lot of fun crafting a fake show, a fake immersive show about Hedda Gabler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Oh
was
my
really
God.
fun. So there's a show within a show, and it's going to be fun kind of playing around with staging it once we start developing the film process to let our actors play around and see what happens.
Yeah. Is it, so I know you guys probably just wrote it, but like, is it in production? Is it in pre-production at the moment?
We part of the impetus behind like submitting it to film festivals and contests is
Hmm.
that like we both make indie films and have produced like shorts in the past. And so there's a word like we like I'm also an actor, Anna's also a director, so we're like we want to like do this project, but we also want to like attract collaborators and see like who might want to help us make this.
Sure.
So we're like, there's no like immediate plans for production, but we're
Okay.
like, definitely, we'd love to make it happen one day.
Yeah, of course. Where are you at in your film festival circuit?
That's a good question.
Beginning, middle, end?
I think middle to end. I
Middle.
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's some more. I think there's like we pretty much submitted everywhere except for like a handful that like weren't open when we did our last round. So
Yeah.
there's a couple more that like we might submit to or we haven't heard back from, but we've had like a pretty good run. I feel like most of the ones we've gotten into. I mean, I guess you have to, as a screenplay, you have to like place to get into a film festival, but like we've gotten
Sure.
some like a few like best screenplay awards, or just like
Yay.
finalist, semi-finalist awards. So it's like it's at least a good sign that we're like, okay, we're doing something
Yeah.
right.
Right, exactly.
It's like just like a nice to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, that affirmation is very much key. Yeah.
Especially in horror spaces. I think like it's been really nice. I feel like we've had the most I don't want to say success because it's awards aren't everything, but we've had most recognition from the horror community, and that's kind of been the most exciting for us, making this for the people who will really want it.
Yeah. How was your experience with FilmQuest? That's how we all came to be together. I loved it. It was my second time, but I don't know if it was your first, second, 18th time.
It was my first time, but Olivia's been before.
Yeah, it was my second time as well. In 2023, I went with a short film called Subtext, and that was like honestly, like I already had an inkling that I wanted to do more genre, and then being a part of that community and just seeing how enthusiastic the audience was and how just like that venue is packed the whole time, and like horror fans like show up like rally, and I was just like, oh, what a great community, and like I want to be in this community. I want to make more genre stuff, and then just FilmQuest itself is one of like the most fun film festivals that I've been to, and so I like always want an excuse to go back and like now it's like as you do, like you go through the film festival circuit and then you just make friends that show up at the same places, and like that's
I feel like I saw you guys follow or know Angela Golner.
Angela's she's the best.
I love her. She's the best. Yeah, she's been on the show as well, and I loved the Beldam. It's like I obviously still talk about it after I saw it like a year ago. Such a good feature. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
I
saw it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I saw it at the Cleveland Film Festival, so I didn't get to FilmQuest, but it is incredible. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I was so lucky. Angela sent me some early drafts of the Beldam, and it was so cool to like have discussions with her about where she wanted to see this going from like pretty much maybe about a year before she started shooting, and it just like her generosity to let me in on how you, as a writer and a director and an independent filmmaker, make all of these creative changes all the way through, and receiving obstacles and receiving like I don't know, like what's the opposite of an obstacle? I don't know, gifts. But yeah, like just getting to a window into that process has totally changed who I am as an artist, and it's so exciting to see like the final product of it. Everybody should watch the Beldam. It's such an amazing.
Everyone go watch it. It's on Amazon. I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume, that you two are horror babes, horror fans. Is that true?
Yeah.
Us fans.
Anna knows way more than I do. I had to do a lot of catching up on like I always say that Mike Flanagan was my gateway drug into horror because I like full earnest storytelling, and I was like, like all the hauntings are rooted in character and ghost stories, but I hadn't seen like the slashers and like a lot of the classic horror movies because I was scared when they came out. So mom taught me a lot about like horror movie tropes and
That's so sweet of you to say, because I feel like I'm still catching up in my horror repertory, because really, like, I love horror, and it speaks so much to my love of art, which is like pacing and imagery and pop culture iconography. Like I told Olivia all the time, I was like, all I want to do with this project is make something iconic and like exciting for people who love horror, to see something new, like a new Freddy or a new like even weapons, everybody, dressing up like that beautiful woman, beautiful to me. I feel like even with the passion of finding horror, like I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of horror as a kid. So so I feel like once I got to college, I was like a kid in a candy shop, like seeing Evil Dead for the first time. Like, this is so cool.
God.
Yeah. And I'm still playing catch up to this day. But I have so much respect for people of like trivia style knowledge of everything.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely, I'm always catching up. I think unless you watch horror movies every minute of every day, like you'll be catching up. Like there's just so much horror out there and all the different subgenres, and like dating back to, the 50s and before that, like we'll always be catching up, you know? It's just never ending. And then like every year more and more horror comes out, so it's just like, oh my god. And then my last question is, what films influenced the story of the experience?
Ooh, good question.
Definitely Midsommar was a big influence, because we call it a folk horror because it's sort of simultaneously about how like this community of theater and the process of making theater and art in general, like dance, is can be very life-giving, and it's like when it's good, it's the best thing ever, but then there's this dark side to it where it can be very abusive and it can be very demanding, and like both of those things exist at once. And so I feel like Midsommar is a good comp. I feel like Midnight Mass is also just an example of great folk horror. And then of course, like Suspiria was a big comp at the Menu.
Both Suspirias are very similar, I think, in the surrealism and the play that we can do, the theatricality that we're interested in, and also like the discipline, the weirdness of like like in Suspiria being a dancer. It's very similar.
Okay, well that's intriguing. I'm hooked.
Yay.
On top of that, were there like filmmakers that you had in mind that you were like, oh, I really want to do this scene the way, Spielberg does this, or, anything comparable to that?
I think it's like kind of uncomfortable to say, but like I was a big fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a teenager, and like I know Joss Whedon is a difficult person publicly, but
I think we can still be fans, though.
I think so too. I just want to be sensitive.
Of course.
But I think in every, because we have an ensemble of 6 friends who are our protagonists, and I think every time I tackle or think about ensembles, I'm always thinking of like Buffy, and just how we can like get electricity bouncing off of each other. So and that, like, just the dynamic of that sort of action and giving everybody their moment. So Joss's work is very impactful to me in that way. And this may sound also counterintuitive, but David Lynch's work is also very inspiring to me. And taking something he has this beautiful way of taking something so mundane and ordinary and infusing so much intense emotion into it through like sound design and through relatable experiences that can also feel alien too. So I think that's something that you can feel as alienated by theater or by any sort of artistic experience as you could feel welcomed in it. And we're not saying one is the truth over another, but they both do exist, and
Yeah.
That's why it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Oh, that's
That's
so great. This is awesome. It's just always such a pleasure for me to talk to fellow female filmmakers and just women in the horror community. So thank you for being here. We need you, and yeah, this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thanks for having us.
Well, that's it from me, Olivia, and Anna. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this week's virtual filmmaker interview. You can follow these filmmakers at the social media handles below. Please don't forget to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Bye, babe.